In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
Right now at noon, investigating the prosecutors, the state launching an investigation into 2 district attorneys amid allegations they mishandled the Ahmaud Arbery case. And fake checks, fake stimulus checks, how to spot a phony check if you are one of the millions of Americans still waiting for your stimulus payment to be mailed. And old ball game, the MLB battling around a proposal to bring baseball back around the 4th of July. But the good old game will have some new guidelines. We'll talk about
Live from the 11 Alive studios, our special coronavirus coverage, Facts Not Fear, starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Christy Diaz in for Sheba Russell. Thanks for joining us for Facts Not Fear at noon. We'll have the very latest on the coronavirus in our state in just a moment. But first, we are following a developing story. The state's top prosecutor, Chris Carr, requesting the GBI to launch a new investigation into how the Ahmaud Arbery case was initially handled. Arbery was shot and killed while his family says he was jogging in Brunswick back in February after police say he was chased down by two white men. But it wasn't until last week, after video of the confrontation was released, that Gregory and Travis McMichael were arrested and charged with murder. The men told police they believed Arbery had involved in burglaries in the neighborhood. And surveillance video shows a man entering a home under construction, but Arbery's family attorney says there is no evidence he committed a crime. The case drawing further scrutiny because one of the suspects used to work for the Glenn County District Attorney's Office. Now, Nick Sturdivant is at the GBI headquarters with the very latest developments.
Basically, this is an investigation on the state level. Remember, Carr has already requested the U.S. Department of Justice to investigate. Both investigations will run concurrently. These investigations center around alleged misconduct by the Brunswick and Waycross DA offices. Carr said in a statement, unfortunately, many questions and concerns have arisen regarding, among other things, the communications between and actions taken by the district attorneys of the Brunswick and Waycross circuits. As a result, we have requested the GBI to review in order to determine whether the process was undermined in any way. Waycross District Attorney George Barnhill was put in charge of the case after Brunswick DA Jackie Johnson recused herself on February 27th. However, according to Carr's office, neither Johnson nor Barnhill revealed that Barnhill had already taken a role in the case in reviewing evidence and advising Glenn County Police regarding whether to make any arrest in the case on February 24th. Barnhill also allegedly revealed that both district attorneys had learned weeks earlier that his son, a prosecutor in Brunswick, had previously worked with Gregory McMichael on a prosecution involving Arbery. Carr says Barnhill, however, held on to the case for several more weeks after realizing that, and on April 7th recused himself too, but did not tell the Attorney General about his prior involvement. And coming up at 5, you'll hear from Attorney General Chris Carr regarding this investigation.
In fact, this case is now in the hands of a 4th district attorney. Yesterday, Attorney General Carr named Cobb County's DA the special prosecutor for this case. 11 Alive's Caitlin Ross is looking into DA Joyette Holmes' background and how she's handled previous cases.
In a statement sent to the 11 Alive newsroom this afternoon, the Cobb County DA's office says the call to serve will not be taken lightly, and the office will immediately gather all materials related to the investigation thus far and continue to seek additional information to move this case forward.
She is absolutely terrific with a capital T. Her office is competent. They're great.
Defense attorney Darrell Cohen has no doubt that Cobb County District Attorney Joyette Holmes is the right person for the job.
Fair, honest, sometimes tough, sometimes in my view too tough, most of the time straight on, right on.
Cohen met Holmes when she was the chief magistrate in Cobb County. She was the first female and African American to hold that position and broke those barriers again when she was appointed to DA. 11 Alive interviewed her about the position when she was first appointed in June of 2019.
Serving is not about a position. It's not about what you wear to work every day. It's about being in a place where you can do the job that needs to be done.
Cohen says her experience in the court means she's not afraid to take on big cases and will not be intimidated by the huge national spotlight on the Ahmaud Arbery case.
I was very impressed with her then, and I'm impressed with her now. She's a great leader.
An attorney for the Arbery family says the DA has already reached out to them and they're, quote, cautiously optimistic.
During a press conference yesterday, President Trump talked about the Ahmaud Arbery shooting, saying he was disturbed by the video of his death. You can read the president's full remarks on the 11 Alive app. Just look for the Seen on TV section. Now let's get to the very latest on the coronavirus in our state. According to the State Department of Public Health, there are now 1,461 deaths, 34,635 confirmed cases, and 6,130 people hospitalized. Health officials say the rise in cases is due to the fact that there are more testing sites across the state, and officials are working to ramp things up through contact tracing. Here's Liza Lucas with more.
The Gwinnett County Health District will be one of 3 communities across the state testing a new contact tracing application on people who've contracted COVID-19. A spokesperson for Gwinnett, Newton, and Rockdale Health Department tells 11 Alive that the pilot program works within a reporting system. It's not necessarily an app like those we download on our phone. While contact tracing is not new, the application will help health department efforts as officials work to identify those infected and follow up with everyone the sick person has been in contact with. The goal, to get those people tested and into quarantine. During the pilot phase, local officials plan to share feedback with the Georgia Department of Public Health before the program rolls out to other health departments. In addition to Gwinnett, Newton, and Rockdale counties, I'm told that both the Savannah and Macon areas will also be participating in the launch of this pilot program. In addition, Gwinnett officials tell us that it is completely voluntary to participate.
Emory University taking part in a second clinical trial for treating COVID-19. Emory researchers played a major role in the first trial for the drug remdesivir, and now they're working on another study sponsored by the National Institutes of Health. It evaluates the safety and effectiveness of pairing remdesivir with another drug called baricitinib. It's an anti-inflammatory drug typically used to treat rheumatoid arthritis. Researchers plan to enroll more than 1,000 people in this clinical trial at 100 sites around the world, including at Emory University. Happening today, Governor Brian Kemp, along with the state's top health officials, will hold a briefing on Georgia's response to the coronavirus. Governor Kemp is expected to announce whether he'll lift restrictions for a handful of businesses that have not yet been allowed to reopen. We will carry the briefing live at 4 p.m. right here on 11 Alive. You can also watch it live or after the fact on the 11 Alive YouTube channel. More Metro Atlanta government buildings and parks are reopening this week. The City of College Park will open its City Hall on Thursday, as well as its public parks. However, playgrounds, basketball courts, tennis courts, and rec centers will stay closed. The City of Duluth will reopen City Hall on May 14th as well, and on Friday, Johns Creek will reopen select parks and public buildings on Friday. Good news for some baseball fans. Major League Baseball owners have approved a plan that would have baseball return around the 4th of July with a training period before that. That plan will go to the Players Union for approval, but it may not be easy. Here are some of the major points, according to the Associated Press. Teams would play about half of the season. The playoffs would include 4 extra teams. Teams would only play certain opponents, such as those in their division. Now, the big point of contention here is the 50-50 revenue split to pay for player salaries. Players are concerned it could lead to a salary cap in the future. We'll be diving more into this tonight on 11 Live News at 6. The physical stimulus checks will soon be mailed across the country, and many posts are warning about fakes. So our Verify team is looking into these claims. Jason Puckett explains how you can identify the real checks.
A few of you sent us posts like these. A state police department warning about fake stimulus checks and how to spot the real ones. They list security features on checks to look for, and you wanted to know if those were real. Short answer, yes, and some of them you can spot at home. Our main source is the U.S. Department of Treasury and the Federal Trade Commission. The FTC confirmed they are monitoring a number of scams related to COVID-19, and they're warning that stimulus checks could be next. To help, the Treasury Department put out this chart of 5 physical security measures on checks. 1, the seal should say Bureau of the Fiscal Service or Financial Management Service. 2, the ink on the seal should turn red when moisture is applied. 3, there's microprinted text on the back you can see under magnification. 4, holding the check up to light will reveal a U.S. Treasury watermark on the front and back. And 5, there's a layer of printing only visible under ultraviolet light. Now, some of those, like the watermark, can be tested by anyone, but most are meant for banks to double check. The easiest way for you to make sure your check is legit? The check verification website set up by the Treasury Check Information System. Basically, you enter your check number and amount, and it'll tell you if you have an authentic Treasury check in hand. Remember, check scams rely on you sending money. These IRS checks have no strings attached. So if you get a check that says to deposit it and send money somewhere, that's likely a scam. If you've got other questions like this, send us an email.
Coming up, 11 Alive financial expert Andrew Poulos is answering your questions about stimulus checks, unemployment, and much more. So let us know if you have a question by texting us at 404-885-7600. And remember, text this number, don't call it. We'll be right back.
We hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear, on 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around.
Welcome back. Now, how lawmakers are fighting to get you more money. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is set to unveil the 5th virus aid package, this time aimed at states and cities struggling to avoid layoffs during the economic shutdown. And there would be money for virus testing and another round of direct cash payments for you and unemployment benefits. A House vote is possible as soon as Friday, but Senate Republicans have said they're not planning to vote on any new relief until next month. Now, we know you have a lot of questions about your stimulus checks, small business loans, and unemployment benefits. 11 Alive financial expert Andrew Poulos is here to break it all down for us. He has become a member of the 11 Alive family, joining us most weeks. So let us know if you have a question. Text that number on your screen, 404-885-7600. Andrew, thanks again for joining us on this Tuesday.
Hi, Kirsty, good to be back.
All right, let's jump right in. Z asked us this question. He said, some weeks I receive my full $600 extra unemployment. Other weeks I receive the funds with taxes deducted. There's no consistency. I went in and changed it, but nothing happens. What can I do?
Well, if the unemployment is being filed by Z's employer, I would recommend that Z check in with the employer because there's a way for them to change it on their end. I'm just making this assumption because employers have the requirement to file weekly unemployment on behalf of their employees. I think that's probably the best avenue to approach right now and see if the employer is able to change it on their end as they file each week.
Okay. This next viewer texted us this question, said, I have an installment agreement with the IRS. I want to miss a payment without defaulting. How can I do it since I can't seem to get anyone on the phone?
Yeah, so the IRS obviously shut down. They've recalled some of their personnel, but we don't know which divisions, most likely not customer service right now. What we do know is this, that the IRS has suspended collection activity right now, collection enforcement. So if you're making a installment agreement payment voluntarily or on your own through the IRS website or by check, you can actually not make the payment and it won't default your installment agreement. If you are on a direct debit, meaning the IRS has been authorized by you to debit your bank account each month, then that's going to be a little hard to stop because of the fact that you can't get a hold of anyone at the IRS since they're shut down. So it really depends on whether they're making a check on payment on their end or if it's being direct debited each month.
Okay, good to know. Marianne shared this. She says, I'm on Social Security, haven't received my stimulus via direct deposit. I was not required to file taxes in 2018 or 2019. Some tell me it's because I did not file a special tax form, but others didn't and already got their checks. So should I keep checking the IRS website even though it says, quote, unable to process info?
Yeah, so some folks are still receiving that message, unable to process, information not available. For retirees without any dependent children, there isn't anything to do. There was some initial back and forth by the IRS and the Treasury, but those payments should be made direct deposit by information that the IRS is going to get from the Social Security Administration. So I would just keep on checking back and hopefully it'll show up in a few days. It's just one of those things. Some folks have gotten their stimulus, others haven't. And then if for some reason it's going to be sent out by check, then those payments have been going out the last 2 weeks and they'll continue being mailed out at the pace of 5 million checks a week until September.
Patience and persistence, two things very much needed at this time. Okay, this next question comes from Glenda. She said, I received a PPP loan as an independent contractor. Can I pay my 2020 quarterly taxes with the proceeds?
Okay, so interesting question. The short answer is no, not if you want to apply for loan forgiveness and have the opportunity to have the loan forgiven. However, what you can do is use the money to pay payroll out to yourself, and then once you receive that money in the form of a paycheck to yourself, you can do whatever you want with the money. But the business has to be able to show that the money's been paid out in the form of payroll in order to have the opportunity for loan forgiveness come July.
Okay, Andrew, thank you. This next question comes from Rose. She says, my employer is only filing for me every other week because he says it costs him to file. So what can I do for weeks that he doesn't file?
Interesting. I'm assuming that Rose is referring to unemployment, of course. Employers are required to file claims on a weekly basis, not whenever they choose or whatever's convenient or cost effective for them. And it doesn't really cost anything to file because the employer is going on to the Department of Labor website and submitting the claims electronically. So that employer, she needs to talk to her employer about filing weekly because those benefits are on a weekly basis. If the employer is not filing it for 1 week and filing for the other, then she's not going to get the payment for the 1 week that the employer doesn't file, which is not the way this unemployment is supposed to work.
Okay, this next question comes from Donna. She texted us this and said, the IRS told me that a check was scheduled to deposit in my account late last month, but nothing has been deposited and my bank has no clue where this check is. Do you have any suggestions?
Okay, so, the first thing that comes to mind is if for some reason the bank account that the IRS deposited into wasn't the correct one, what will happen is that bank will reject the payment and the deposit, and then it'll go back to the IRS, and subsequently from there, the IRS will mail out a check in the coming weeks. But they also have said that they're going to send out letters to folks in this situation, letting them know what happened with the payment and when to expect the check in the mail. So right now, being that the IRS is shut down and you can't get a hold of anyone, it's a matter of checking on the IRS website to see if there's any updates, and then keeping an eye out on your mail to see if the check comes by mail.
I know it's frustrating for a lot of people who are keeping their eyes on their bank accounts right now. Thank you so much, Andrew, for answering those questions. Don't go anywhere. Just ahead, we're answering more of your coronavirus questions, so keep sending them in by texting us at 404-885-7600. And remember, text, don't call, but please do include your name.
Doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
We are back with financial expert Andrew Poulos here to answer all of your coronavirus financial questions. So we're going to jump right into this next set so we can get to as many as possible. Ben texted us this, Andrew. He said, I was furloughed from my company and received $306 from the state. Another $504 got deposited into my account. Is this from the federal government, and can I expect it going forward?
All right, so if he's getting 306 and 504, the smaller amount, the 306 is state unemployment, the 504 is federal unemployment, and based on those numbers, I can tell you that there's taxes being withheld, which are optional, but every week that he qualifies for state unemployment, then he's also going to qualify for the federal, which is the pandemic portion.
Okay. This next viewer asked us this question. I've been applying for unemployment since March. I just received my card, but still no payment. They told me a child support had a hold on it, but I called Child Support Services and they said they can't put holds on unemployment. So what's going on there?
Interesting. Certainly the real answer and the truth is going to come from the Department of Labor because they're the ones who are issuing the payments. I would, if the viewer has not created a PIN to access their account on the Georgia Department of Labor website, I would encourage them to do that to see if there's any information there. And then I would reach out to the Labor Department, see if you can send over an email or catch them very early in the morning when they open up their phone lines, I believe around 8 o'clock, to see if you can get an update as to where the money's going or what the situation is, why they're not receiving money on that debit card.
Okay, Janine wrote this. She said, I'm still working on filing both of my 2018 and my 2019 taxes and may not be done before tomorrow. Do I still need to put my info in the payment tool online, or does it matter since I won't get a payment until my returns are filed anyway? And of course, she's talking about the deadline to put your banking information in on the IRS website.
Yeah, they're not. She's not going to get a stimulus check until either 18 or 19 return is filed. So going online and entering in as a non-filer is only going to create problems because what we have seen is that if someone goes and enters in as a non-filer, they're telling the IRS that they don't have a filing requirement, and subsequent when they go to file their return, the return is probably going to be rejected electronically, and they'll have to file a paper return, which creates a problem. So the best course of action here is to file the 18 return at minimum, and then work towards getting 19 files so the IRS can pick up the returns, process them, and issue the stimulus payment.
Okay. Another viewer wants to know, would my stimulus check go to my sister's banking account since she is my payee? I get Social Security disability every month.
Okay, interesting. So those who get Social Security disability, whether they're disabled, retirees, what we do know is the IRS is going to get information from the Social Security Administration. So if there's already a bank account on file that the monthly Social Security disability check has been deposited into, they're going to use that same account.
Okay, Andrew, as usual, thank you so much for taking the time to answer all of these questions. We get so many text messages. I know this is helpful for our viewers to hear those answers. I'm sure we'll see you again soon this week.
Yep, I'll be back on Thursday, Christy.
All right, see you then. So as people try to get back to some kind of normal, the threat is not over. So next up, we have a refresher to keep your family safe and keep the virus from spreading.
Difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. on 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
The COVID-19 crisis has disrupted everyone's lives for more than 2 months now, and we still get questions from viewers about how do you catch it. So Ron Jones is breaking it down to give you the facts, not fear.
You can catch the coronavirus from contaminated surfaces or from being close to another person. But public health experts worry about one more than the other. Person-to-person contact spreads the virus more easily and is harder to prevent. Both of these risks start at the same place, inside the nose of an infected person. The virus tricks the human body into making new copies of itself, and those copies can catch a ride out in the tiny particles in the breath. Just calmly breathing or talking, this person emits particles that can carry the virus. Now, you have seen these if you have ever breathed onto a cold window. If we zoom in on the kind of droplet that can come out of that person's mouth, you'd find a bunch of copies of the virus floating around. The amount of viral particles in droplets is called the viral load. The more virus that gets into your body, the more likely it is to infect you. Contaminated droplets like this one can scatter all over the place in a sneeze. But for you to get infected by touching that, a lot of stuff has to go wrong. You'd have to touch it soon enough that the virus hasn't died, which can be hours or as much as a few days, depending on the surface. Then you'd have to touch your own face somewhere and let those copies of the virus in. But you also have a second chance to wash with soap or sanitize before that happens. But you get no second chances with person-to-person spread. If the droplet comes out and you're close enough, they get in. That's the ball game. Most health experts think you should give people at least 6 feet. More is better, because sneezes and coughs can shoot droplets much farther than that. You can also help nip this risk by leaving your house prepared. Face coverings can trap the droplets so they don't reach other people.
Makes you want to wear a mask, doesn't it? Remember, you can find all of this information and much more right in the palm of your hand. Just download the 11 Alive app for real-time updates on testing sites, what's reopening, stories of survival, and how neighbors are supporting one another during this trying time. And remember, we will be airing Governor Kem's 4 p.m. press conference right here on 11 Alive. We'll bring it to you live on air as soon as it begins, and you can also watch it as it's happening or after the fact on the 11 Alive YouTube page. Thanks so much for watching Facts, Not Fear at noon. I'm Christy Diaz. Stay safe.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both.
Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11 Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11 Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11 Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11 Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11 Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11 Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.